Welcome to the first practice of this series. In this sequence, we're focusing on connection with our breath, our movement, and ultimately with ourselves. You will learn some of the fundamental postures of yoga, and we'll begin to connect them with your breath. Let's begin. We'll start by lying on our backs. Bend your knees with your feet flat on the floor. Place your hands on your rib cage to connect with your breath. As you inhale, feel your ribs lift and spread into your palms. Exhale and observe your body soften into the floor. Take a couple of breaths here. Now we'll come into mountain pose, TADASANA, which is the fundamental posture of yoga. Mountain pose is a standing posture, but we're practicing it on our backs first because it's easier to feel our body in space when we have the floor underneath us to offer feedback. Release your arms by your sides. Straighten your legs out in front of you. Bring your feet and ankles to touch, toes pointing up to the ceiling. Zip your thighs together as if you're making one leg. Imagine you could stand on the wall in front of you. Place your hands on the fronts of your thighs to press your legs down into the floor. This makes space in the lower back. Now, grab the sides of your mat with your hands and pull your body towards your head to draw the buttocks flesh away from the lower back, creating length. Let go of the mat and roll the upper arms open so the palms face the ceiling. Notice how your chest spreads wide. Take a full breath in mountain pose. Your breath will be your guide in each asana or pose. Learning to listen to your breath will help you connect with yourself in each moment. We'll move into upward hand pose, Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, reach your arms above your head, hands shoulder width apart. The palms face each other. Stretch your body in two different directions. Sharpen your heels and stretch out through your fingers. Relax your front ribs into the mat like a deflated souffle. Inhale and get even longer. Exhale, return to mountain pose. Keep your left leg in mountain pose as you draw your right knee into your chest. Inhale deeply and exhale, gently hug the knee in a little more. Pick up your head and look to see what the bottom leg is up to when you're not paying attention. The thigh will creep off the floor and roll open. Press the thigh down into the floor just like you did in mountain pose with the help of your hands. Spin the thigh inward so your toes point up to the ceiling. Now, Velcro your bottom thigh to the floor as you hug your right knee in. Second side. Hug your left knee into your chest. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Is your bottom leg still in mountain pose? Ground your bottom thigh into the floor and roll the thigh inward so your toes point straight up. Stay active in your bottom leg as you draw your left knee a little closer to your chest. Observe if one action is overpowering the other and try to practice both actions simultaneously. Yoga means union. We're attempting to find the union of these two opposing forces. So let's put it all together. Inhale, stretch your arms into upward hand pose. Exhale, hug the right knee into your chest. Inhale the arms overhead, get long. Exhale, draw the left knee in. 2 more times on your own. Synchronize your breath with your movement. The yoga practice should be customized to your own unique breath. Move at a pace that feels comfortable for you. Can you stay simultaneously aware of what's happening in both legs? Hug your knees into your chest. Roll to your right and come onto your hands and knees into table pose. Place your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Spread your fingers evenly apart and press your hands down as if through the floor to lift up out of your shoulders. On your next exhale, round your upper back and release your head, coming into cat pose. Keeping your arms straight, inhale and spread your chest into cow pose. Exhale, hollow your abdomen. Inhale, open wide across your chest. Exhale, feel your shoulder blades spreading apart. Inhale, reluctantly draw them together as you push the floor away with your hands. Next, we'll come into child's pose. Separate your knees slightly apart and bring your toes to touch. Reach your hips back and down towards your heels as you stretch your arms in the opposite direction, creating the same length in your torso that you felt earlier on your back. Look to see that your hands are shoulder distance apart. If your head does not comfortably reach the floor, you can rest it on a block or blanket. Straighten your arms completely. Use the reaching of your arms to create maximum length on the sides of your body. Press your hands strongly down into the mat like they're on a scale and you're trying to get the numbers on the scale to go up. Child's pose can be a resting posture and is available to you at any time during the practice. Come to hands and knees and we'll practice downward facing dog, ADHO MUKHA SVANASANA. Separate your feet and tuck your toes into the mat. Lift your knees off the floor and pull your pelvis up and back away from your hands. Keep your knees bent. Crease deeply at the front of your hips, like you're creating a billfold where you could store extra cash. Ground every knuckle in your hands down into the floor and lengthen the sides of your torso as much as you did in child's pose. Drag your pelvis away from your shoulders. Relax your head. Lower your knees to the floor at the exact same moment and bring your toes to touch, coming back into child's pose. Take a deep, full breath here. Now we'll move with the breath, linking these poses together. On your inhale, peel your spine off the floor and open your chest into cow pose. On your exhale, tuck your toes under and stretch your pelvis up and back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lower both of your knees to the floor at the exact same time. Exhale, toes to touch, child's pose. Inhale, rolling up. Press your hands into the floor and exhale, reach your pelvis away from your hands into down dog. Inhale, lower your knees to the floor at the same moment, moving with control. Exhale, release back into child's pose. Last one on your own. Inhale, exhale. Press your palms into the mat while you reach your hips far away from your hands. Hold down dog for a few breaths. Shift more and more of your weight into your legs by reaching your hips up and back. Feel the same length in the sides of your torso that you've worked to create throughout the practice. Without losing even 1 centimeter of that length in your spine, begin to press the fronts of your thighs back any amount. Yoga is a process. At first, your knees may need to stay bent in order to maintain the length in your torso, but over time, the knees will slowly begin to straighten. The body responds faster when we approach our practice with patience and compassion. Where you are today is exactly where you need to be. Lower your knees to the floor with control. Move your hands back under your shoulders for table pose. Inhale into cow. Exhale and round your upper back into cat pose, and this time we'll hold cat pose. Continue to breathe as you root your hands through the floor. Make your arms even longer. Scoop out your abdomen like you're digging the last frozen bites out of a carton of your favorite ice cream. That requires some pretty enthusiastic scooping. Comb your buttocks flesh down towards the backs of your knees. Inflate your upper back. Breathe. Tuck the toes under and lift the knees just 1 inch off the floor. It takes exponentially more effort to maintain the shape of cat pose when you're hovering above the mat. Press your hands down like crazy. Keep pushing the floor away as you slowly begin to spread your collarbones apart. Reach your breastbone forward without losing the support of your abdominals. Lower your knees to the floor and come back into a well-deserved child's pose. Let's apply that work to plank pose. Shift forward to all fours, tuck your toes, and press back into down dog. We'll move in and out of plank pose on our breath. Inhale, shift forward and stack your shoulders over your wrists. Push your hands into the floor and lift up out of your shoulders. Exhale, reach your hips back into down dog. 2 more times with your breath. Keep your arms very straight. Push the floor away with your hands. Move slowly. When you move slowly with control, your body gets stronger. Breathe. Inhale, come back into plank pose. Exhale, reach your knees back and down onto the floor. We'll move into chaturanga, a tricep push-up commonly seen in yoga classes. Press down into the knuckles of your hands as you spread wide across your collarbones. Bend your elbows straight back so that your arms graze the sides of your torso. Slowly lower your pelvis and chest to the floor at the exact same time. Release your toes and press the tops of your feet down into the floor. Imagine your legs started all the way up in the roof of your mouth. Stretch your legs back from this place. Reach the crown of your head in the opposite direction, stretching your body long. Lift your shoulders away from the floor and pull your chest up into Cobra pose, BHUJANGASANA. The neck is long. You should be able to lift your hands off the floor so that it's the upper back, not the arms, doing the work. This is such a fantastic pose to strengthen the muscles of your back, which will help to improve your everyday posture. Inhale, release your forehead to the floor. Exhale, press back into down dog. Slowly walk your hands back towards your feet, knees bent, head heavy. Bring your hands to your hips and lift your shoulders away from the floor like you just did in Cobra pose. Inhale, reach your chest forward and come up to stand with a flat back. Bring your feet to touch in mountain pose. Just like you practiced on the floor, root down into your feet and rise up through the crown of your head. Press the fronts of your thighs back. Lengthen your buttocks flesh down towards your knees. Roll the arms open and spread across your chest. Breathe as if you could inflate your whole body. Exhale, bring your hands to touch in front of your chest. Close your eyes and take a moment to simply be. No agenda, no expectations. This practice is for you. As you focus on your breath, you are inviting the parts of you that may often feel scattered and disconnected to gather together as one. Yoga invites us to connect to ourselves as we are.